Hi guys, it is Emma Lemley, and today we are going to go over my final community food systems presentation on Arcadia Center for Sustainable Food and Agriculture. So first we have to go over what a community food system is. So basically a community food system is kind of localized how the food is grown, how it is processed, distributed, and then consumed by people in the local community. The goals of a community food system are to improve food access by all of the community members, increase the amount of sustainable production practices by family farms, and create closer relationships between producer and consumer. That is really the big one. So my focus was on the Arcadia Center for Sustainable Food and Agriculture. It was founded in 2010 in Alexandria, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. Their mission is to cultivate vibrant local food systems that prioritize health, equity, and sustainability. And their goals are to improve public health through equal access to healthy foods, increase the number of viable and local farmers, and preserve the environment. The DC metro area some places can be described as a food desert. Some communities around there do not have great access to affordable and healthy foods, and so Arcadia has multiple programs to try to help mitigate this problem. The first one is the veteran farming training, where they will pay military veterans, to learn how to farm and give them access to affordable land so that they can start their own farm, and also try to help them and support them throughout their time so that they can become a viable option, a viable farm. They also have the Farm and Nutrition Education Program, where that picture down at the bottom is part of Farm Camp, where they just teach kids about how to make nutritious choices and really just about where their food comes from so that they can feel more connected to it. Their most important program, I would say, is their mobile market, which is the mobile market is available in multiple communities every week, and it offers affordable and healthy food choices for people in the community that might not have great access to those options. And they also outsource some of the produce from other farms in the area, so it benefits multiple people in the community. So, food security is considered a wicked problem. A wicked problem is a complex challenge that is difficult, if not impossible, to solve in a traditional step-by-step fashion. Sometimes they cannot be fully understood before a solution is attempted. This relates to food security because ensuring equitable access and distribution in economically vulnerable regions it's hard. It is difficult. And even if, I like to think about it this way, that even if global food production meets or exceeds demands, millions can still go hungry if they lack the means to purchase food or live in areas where food is not available. Just because food production, there's enough, it doesn't mean that everybody lives in an area where they have access to food. So a strategy for mitigation is cooperative strategy, which this includes flexible, interactive, and community-informed kind of approaches, allowing for the kind of adaptive responses that wicked problems require. So then we move on to community engagement, which some forms of community engagement can include extension work, educational outreach, community-based research, which mainly we're focusing on community-based research and educational outreach. So Arcadia's role in their programs that they have, they are very community-based. They want to get the youth of the community out to Arcadia to learn about making healthy choices and where their food comes from. They want to get veterans in the region to come out and learn how to be farmers. Their mobile market is where they are directly interacting with the community that they are impacting. The One Health framework really stood out to me just because it highlights how poor agricultural practices can contribute to pollution, disease transmission, and biodiversity loss. So with Arcadia, their programs kind of integrate food justice, environmental stewardship, and community health all together. And it really reflects the One Health ideal or belief that the health of our communities depends not just on one factor, but the thoughtful integration of many. There are many people that work in Arcadia and that work in the surrounding community that are all communicating with each other, that are all trying to think of ways how can we mitigate the food insecurity crisis, or what can we do to help this. So the ethics of food and hunger, I believe that everyone should have the right to healthy, affordable food. Food security isn't just a logistical issue, but an ethical one that requires systemic reform and community efforts. Kind of just how I was talking about that even if there is enough food for everybody in the world, that doesn't mean that it is accessible to everybody in the world. So, how can we make it more accessible to people? So, the goal is to create food systems where producers are not undermined by policies or market designs solely based to lower prices. That's not exactly what we're looking for. We're not looking for producers to suffer because they are selling their produce for too little and then they can't make a living. There kind of just needs to be a whole rebrand of the system to where food can be more accessible to everybody. Ethical food policy must balance affordable access for consumers with fair compensation and autonomy for producers. So, where can we find that good middle ground to where everybody has access to food, but the people that are producing our food still kind of have a place where they are also making money because that is their job after all. Here are my references, and thank you all for listening.